You know Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen. But do you recall the most famous reindeer of all? Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer had a very shiny nose,
like a light.
And if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows.
I don't remember the light bulb.
All of
The other reindeer used to laugh and call him names,
Like Pinocchio.
They never let poor Rudolph
Rudolph.
go to any reindeer games.
Like Monopoly.
Which is a weird thing, by the way.
Christmas Eve, Santa came to say,
Ho, ho, ho!
Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? And then all the reindeer loved him, and they shouted out with glee,
Yippee!
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, you'll go down in history.
You'll go
Down in history.
Flintstones, meet the Flintstones.
Our Christmas album is coming
That's
out.
right. PopCR Christmas album.
Beats. Battlestar.
Stay on target.
You can't handle the truth.
Stay on target.
It's over 9,000! What, 9,000?
With great power comes great responsibility.
There's only one God, man. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't dress like that.
Well, hello and welcome back to Pop Culture Redemption, a show that is dedicated to helping the church have a better vision for God moving and working in popular culture. Today, we're hitting the rewind button. I don't know if you heard, but Christmas is coming, so we're hitting the rewind button, and we're looking at the 1964 claymation special, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Now, while only having a runtime of about 55 minutes, this one gave us a lot to talk about. We had a lot of really great conversation about finding God in the midst of this movie. We had a really good time with this one. A couple of Big Picture PopCR things before we dive into the episode. The first thing is seats for our live show. I don't know if you've heard. We're doing a live show. Seats for our live show on Friday, January 17th in McPherson are now available for reservation to our Patreon community first. We will release reservation to the general public at a later date. So if you don't want to wait, you should go ahead and just hop on over to the Pop Culture Redemption Patreon page for reservation access, which is available now to all membership tiers on our Patreon page. Doors for the live show are going to open at 6:30 p.m. The show's going to start at 7 p.m. And reservations are free, for free. There are limited seats though, so that's why we're doing the RSVP, is because we got to know how many people are coming, and there's a certain limit that we're going to be able to RSVP up to for the place that we're going to have this. We're going to be collecting a free will donation as part of the evening, so you can check out in the show notes for a link if you need it. Second, we're sad to announce that today's episode actually is going to be Jordan's last episode, at least for the foreseeable future. He's decided to take a step back from PopCR. So this podcast is a ton of fun. I hope that comes through when we're recording. We have a great time doing this. We have a great time looking for God in the midst of all this pop culture. It's also a lot of work. And so just with the season of life that Jordan's in and the season of life that our podcast is in, Jordan just came to the conclusion that it's best for him right now to step away from the show. And while we're sad about that, we totally support that decision and we support him. And we just agree that's probably going to be the best move for him and for us moving forward. Obviously, Jordan is a founding member of Pop Culture Redemption. He's a critical part of what we've been able to create and build over the last year plus of this show. And we're gonna do one more special sendoff podcast show episode thing with Jake, Jordan, and I, the boys, the original three. We're gonna do one more podcast of just the boys, just to look back over the last year and a half of PopCR and to just celebrate all the cool things that God's done and the cool moments that we've really enjoyed doing together, and to celebrate Jordan a little bit. So we still got that coming down the pipe. We were gonna do it today, but I don't know if you can hear my voice. I got a little bit of a cold going on right now. Jordan's got a little bit of a cold going on right now, so we just decided, hey, let's push it off a little bit. So coming in a future week, maybe next week, maybe the week after that, we'll have that little send-off pod at the end of one of our podcasts where we get to send them off. So Jordan, thank you for who you are. Thank you for the faithful hours that you've put into this thing called Pop Culture Redemption. Thank you for your faithfulness to Jesus. Thank you just for your friendship. And just that this show would not be here today without you, buddy. So we love you, man. And so here's to one more pod with Jordan. One more pod with Jordan on the crew. And it's a good one. It's a really good one. So we bring you Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Welcome to Pop Culture Redemption. My name's Connor.
My name's Kim.
I'm Jake.
I'm Jordan and I'm unprepared. Okay, no, here we go. That's right. I'm Jordan Summers, and while I may have a face for radio, I also have a voice for wet paint. I'll let you figure that one out.
What for wet paint? There you go.
Crazy.
There you go.
That just makes me feel really uncomfortable, and I need to take a shower.
What's red? It smells like blue paint.
Red paint.
Red paint. Well, welcome back to Pop Culture Redemption. We are a podcast and a collective of people that are trying to help the church have a better vision of God moving and working in popular culture.
Man, that's crazy.
I know. Shoot. And we're going so popular culture that we're rewinding
To the 1960s.
60 years. 60 years. Yeah, 64.
Wait.
I think it came out. I think Rudolph came out in 64.
Yeah, 60 years. Okay.
Yeah. 60-year
Crazy.
rewind. So, but I mean, this is very much a part of our popular culture because, Christmas
Did
season.
y'all do the ABC
you start
25 Days of Christmas?
You
growing
start
up?
paying. Yeah, mhm.
Absolutely.
You start. Yeah.
25 days.
No?
of Christmas.
What is that?
It was the ABC TV channel where they'd play a different of the classic movie, the Christmas movies every night, starting December 1 through the 25th.
It was the best.
It was
genuinely
the
awesome.
best.
That's how I found out about the Melissa Joan Hart movie. Did you ever see that one?
Who's Melissa Joan?
We
No, she's the
probably
one that was in
did,
that
I just
Hallmark
didn't know.
movie that we saw last year with Lizzie. He talked about this already at the Hallmark
Played
Christmas
Sabrina the
episode we did
Teenage
last
Witch.
year.
I'm so sorry.
Yes. No. Yeah.
She played Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Oh, thank you. My sister was obsessed with that show.
Mm-hmm. A likely excuse. A likely story, Jake. It's okay. You can be real here.
My
you
sister was
you like
obsessed.
Sabrina the Teenage.
No.
It's okay. No, it's okay.
It's
With a-
fine.
You could tell us. No
Cat
shame.
puppet? That was
This
weird.
is a safe space.
That's right. No shame here, man. No shame.
Whatever.
So, rapid fire. What's your favorite Christmas movie? Rapid fire.
Nope.
Oh my
Don't think about it.
gosh,
Don't think about it. Just say it.
no.
First thing that came
You're
to your
that of
mind.
Santa Claus.
There it is. Okay.
It's a good one.
Mine is Elf.
Well, you stole mine. That's not okay.
Okay. Well, you say Elf then.
Oh,
I'll pick something else.
now I'm trying to think of something
Well,
else.
actually, mine was also Year Without a Santa Claus.
It's so good.
It is.
Oh wait, what's the one?
They call
Christmas
him
Vacation.
Heat Miser.
Yeah.
No, oh my
Whatever I
gosh! What in
touch
the world? My favorite Christmas
starts
movie
to
ever
make
is
them
Four
a
Christmases.
clutch.
Have you seen Four Christmases?
Wait till
My parents are divorced, so that movie was my favorite because I thought I was gonna have
I have a
Four
strong
Christmases. And guess what? I don't.
I have a strong second. I have a strong second favorite, which is Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Die Hard. Period. No, Four Christmases. It's not appropriate for ages 12 and under, probably, but it's really funny and it's a lot. You gotta watch it.
And it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's like a lot.
It's really funny.
Like a lot.
And then Elf. After that.
I like the It's a Wonderful Life.
That's good.
It's just like when he talks about lassoing the moon. I always think about that. Isn't that what the movie is?
I've only seen it a couple
We're up
times.
there. I'm gonna lasso the moon and pull it. Whatever. In the weird voice.
Sure.
Yep, It's
Pops.
a Wonderful Life.
That's it. Thank you. Yeah. I gotta like learn that whole thing so I can just pull it off. Maybe next week for next week's podcast.
And Christmas Story.
I'll work on the
Ooh.
You should try.
Fragile.
All
All right, so
Okay.
we're kind
Christmas
of
Vacation's also
we're-
pretty high up there.
we're entering and we're pretty close to Christmas, so now we're doing some Christmas movies. So we decided we're doing Rudolph,
So good.
1964 Rudolph.
This movie did have a special place in my family's heart.
Mm.
We had like the complete toy set with all the elves, all the Misfit toys. We had like the abominable snowman and all the reindeer and stuff like that. And then there was a year that Build-A-Bear did a special where they had Rudolph and Yukon Cornelius and Hermie the Elf, and they had a sleigh. And my parents loved that movie so much we have the entire collection.
Dang,
Yeah.
That's amazing.
that's awesome. All right, we're gonna go fun facts with Jordan about Rudolph.
All right, you ready for this?
I'm ready for this.
Okay, here we go.
Go.
Rudolph, Crown Prince of Austria, was the only son and third child of Emperor Franz Joseph I of Austria and Duchess Elizabeth of Bavaria, Sissy. He was heir apparent to the imperial throne of the Austro-Hungarian Empire from birth, and in 1889, he died in a suicide pact with his mistress, Baroness Mary. I should be laughing at this. What does this have to do with the movie? In 1889, he died in a suicide pact.
We weren't clear.
With his mistress, Baroness Mary Vetsura, at the Maryling Hunting Lodge. The ensuing scandal made international headlines.
AI, you got it wrong.
Rudolph, Crown Prince of Austria. No, this is Wikipedia.
It's like me talking to Chat GPT. Like, wrong answer. Try it again. Try it again.
So here's a legitimate fun fact, and this one's a polio behind the curtain of PopCR stuff. In our magical document storage, Rudolph was spelled as Rudolf.
Why you gotta out me like that?
Did you really spell?
So it was Rudolph instead of Rudolph with a PH.
Rudolph.
Hooked on phonics did not work for me.
So I wasn't thinking about it. Like it got me. I didn't think about it. So I searched for Rudolph, and the first thing that comes up is Rudolph, Crown Prince of Austria, who apparently made a suicide pact with his mistress.
Crazy.
I mean, it's crazy what 2 letters will do for you.
Yeah, either turns you into a reindeer or a guy who made a suicide pact with his mistress.
Oh my goodness.
Terrible. Negative.
You can go ahead, everybody look up Brian Regan, Stupid in School, and Hooked on Phonics. There's a really funny routine about that I will not try to rehash, but just look it up. It's clean. It's clean humor. It's good, clean family fun. So if you want to check it out.
Unlike that fun fact,
Are there any more fun facts about Rudolph with a PH?
I do have
PH as in Rudolph.
T or P as in pterodactyl.
That's right, yeah. As in pneumonia.
Here's some fun stuff. In 2006, the original Rudolph and Santa figures were featured in an episode of Antiques Roadshow. Pre-renovation, they were valued at $8,000 to $10,000.
Holy crap! Like the ones used in the movie.
Jake, where's your stuff at?
I know. I was just thinking that. Like, man, how much is my parents' collection worth?
Better get on eBay.
We better go find that collection.
There are 11 voice actors credited for all the voices in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Dang, that's a small cast.
There we go.
The Rudolph's red nose was originally created using a 12-volt light bulb painted red.
Oh,
Yep,
I would have
I believe
guessed
that.
like a fuse bulb.
No, just a 12-volt light bulb.
Nice.
1998, a deleted scene was uncovered featuring an instrumental break in We Are Santa's Elves. It has been included in the special ever since.
Sounds like that song needed work.
Yeah, nice. Yes. Of course, Santa, he was not having a good day.
No, he
He was
wasn't.
not having a good day.
I'll get to that later.
I just have to read this because this fact is so ridiculous with the list of names that are on here.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer has been recorded by Bing Crosby, the Jackson 5, the Wiggles, the California Raisins, Alvin and the Chipmunks,
Heck yeah.
and the Simpsons.
And
to name
now
a
the
few.
PopCR team.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, now I have to know. Okay, so in 2045, the song will enter public domain.
That's crazy.
That's awkward. We're going to have to wait to release this episode till 2045.
I will be 45 years old.
So in 11 years from now.
2045.
20 years from now.
Be serious.
Yeah, I was born in
feel so
2000.
old. Oh my God.
I don't want to think about that.
Let's
Let's keep
Not
going.
realize how much older I am
Just
than
keep
you, and I don't
swimming.
like that.
Just keep
I'm
swimming.
24 years old.
You'll never forget how old you are.
That's what I always say. People are like, yeah, you're born in 2000. You're such a baby. Shut up. I'm a probation officer. Anyway.
A baby probation officer. No, I'm just kidding.
Kim's over
I'm
here.
apparently pretending, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Pretending.
There we
Comes
go.
over-
let's get
'Cause
back
you're not
to
real.
it.
Back
Not
to it.
real. I'm pretending.
Let's
gonna get-
rejoice some stuff. I'm ready to rejoice.
You ready to rejoice?
I'm ready.
Kim is
Rejoice
over here
in the
like,
Lord.
watch your tongue or have it cut from your head.
Wow. Jordan is going darkness today. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Rejoice.
Let's talk
All
about
right.
the light of Christmas. Rudolph.
Jake really wants to get at it, so let's
Let's
just.
go.
I'm turning it over to you, my man.
There
First
you
of
go, Jake.
all,
Start
I
it.
just always love the creativity of claymation and the
You do
amount
like-
of
you
work.
do like claymation.
And, well, in the amount of work that goes into it, like it's just done really well. I like claymation.
You're like Ben Wyatt from Parks and Rec. When he does the little claymation project, and it's like
would a depressed guy
2
make
seconds.
this?
2 seconds long, and he's like, "I spent a whole week on that."
There's one line from this that I really enjoyed, and I think could be spoken to our and I don't have a word for word. I apologize, but Clary's saying to Rudolph, "I like you better without your fake nose."
Mm.
Aw.
We gotta stop hiding, people. Like,
Ooh, I had a coworker tell me last week. Speaking of, we love coworkers in this place. She told me last week, Kim, I love you because I know what I'm getting with you.
Is that-
That's a compliment.
okay,
Yeah.
She was like, "You're a little, you know,
Consistent.
but like I know what's coming." And like, yeah, shoot.
I'm sorry, you little what?
That's right.
I'm just a little extra. I'm a little fun. I'm a little crazy girl. And she was like, "Yeah, I just like that I know what I'm getting with you. I like that you're real." And that's what you just said. So
There you go.
It's a message.
I'm just
it's a
a
blast from the
real
past. A
woman.
message that we still need to hear today.
yeah.
Don't hide what makes you unique. I like saying that God, like there are 8 billion people on this planet, and
Mhm.
God has still not run out of ways to make His image.
8 billion plus all the people that have come before us.
Exactly.
And all the people that will come after us.
And He still hasn't run out of ways to represent His image in man.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm-mm.
Being unique is a good thing.
That's right, everybody. You are a special unique corn.
I'm gonna fist fight.
But
right
not
now.
reindeer though.
Kim's about to throw down off
That
camera.
made me violent.
Wait,
I have no regrets.
No regrets.
Oh my gosh.
No regrets.
I'm ready. How about you? Sorry, that was a Halo reference.
Oh.
There you go. Halo, Halo. Not that Halo.
So that's my rejoice.
Thanks, George. Thanks, Jake.
I mean, Jake is just the other
I'm
Jordan.
not
Jake,
the
that's
only
fair.
squirrel brain
Jordan is the other
today.
Jake.
That's right. J and J. Right over there.
Jake Squad.
Kim, you have anything
J-Squad.
specific that you want to rejoice? From
I'm not
Rudolph?
specific other than just like, it's just so good.
It is good.
It's just good. It's sweet. It's happy. And yeah, it's a little sad at sometimes, but I think it's good to feel those emotions.
Yeah.
And happy ending. I'm glad there's all, I get sad when movies are just like, end.
In a tragedy.
Yeah.
They end in a tragedy.
Yeah.
I really rejoice the pace of the story. It's spaced out.
Yeah, very well.
Mhm.
It like just watching it invokes rest and peace. I don't like watching it. I was like, I don't really experience this kind of rest and peace in a lot of the stuff coming out now. TV shows, movies.
It's like a comfort film.
Because it's just
Music.
trying to keep you like today.
It's like
They're
an
just trying to
over-
keep you entertained for every
Mhm.
second of the movie.
It's because scientifically we can't focus anymore.
That's right. So it's
Relaxing
it's
to our
an-
brain.
especially as like an introvert, I get overstimulated pretty easy. And so I really appreciated the not being overstimulated
Mhm.
part of this. You know, there's space between dialogue. Not every moment has to be filled with something to grab your attention and hold it. It's just kind of like it just lets the story.
Yeah.
The pace of it's really good. So
Mhm.
I rejoice that. I didn't realize that the North Pole. I learned this time. I didn't realize the North Pole was open carry.
Because
Wait.
you got Cornelius had a pistol on his belt.
I forgot.
I noticed that for the first time
That's
watching it
cute.
today.
Yeah.
Love that.
So I was like, oh, North Pole, open carry. There you go.
Look,
That's funny.
after the last night Santa went crazy,
Right.
he's got to keep that man in
Man,
line.
we got to keep these elves in line. They're out there acting nuts. Though.
Yeah, they're trying to be dentists.
You never know when they're going to come at you.
That's it. That's all I got. I mean, there's a lot of other things, but I'll unpack more as we.
boy.
Yeah, we
as
need
go
to, we
through.
need to space out this timing to where it's not. It's just a
Yeah,
good
just
time.
vibe.
I would like to rejoice the original, just this movie and the original lineup of all the claymation / puppeteering
Amen, brother.
Christmas movies that all of their stories were just so fun and unique, and there was just this beautiful element of creativity to all of them. And like that's something that I don't think I've seen in a Christmas movie, in a modern Christmas movie,
Very long.
ever. I don't think I've ever, like, I can't think of a single movie from the 2000s forward, save Elf, that has a really like original story that's not just happy, sappy, clappy Hallmark BS.
You also haven't watched Four Christmases, but it's pretty I'm just kidding.
I mean, there was like Rise of, what was it? Rise of the Guardians. The one that
one
was
was kind of good.
that had like
And
Jack Frost
Snow
and
Paws or whatever.
it
that
had
little doggy
Russian
one.
Battle Santa.
Oh,
Freaking Russian Battle
Okay,
Santa.
but Tim Allen, Santa Claus.
Santa Claus is coming.
I get what
Those
you're
movies
saying.
are
though.
great.
The vibes
Yeah,
are
but-
different.
Yeah, the vibes
The
definitely
vibes
different.
are different, and
But, like,
it's
the-
like you can watch it and relax
That's true.
and chillax, and it
Yeah.
has a heartfelt
well,
feeling.
and the like all those early Christmas movies that, I mean, they had a mythos to them, right?
Yeah.
There was just some like I mean, you know, obviously they try to have some sort of like believability for kids that this is how things happen, right? And when you're a kid, you can kind of like inherit those movies and think that's how things went down. But or you know, think that those things are true.
I have a question on that,
Yes.
but you finish your thought.
Okay. So, you know, with all of those things, I just think that it was a really unique quality in fiction, in writing, in storytelling,
Yeah.
and in the creative act that I just don't really see.
Mm,
It was a very beautiful time for
Like-
Christmas movies.
absolutely.
Well, I just don't see those things wrapped up
Yeah.
that way anymore.
Right.
Yep.
And did you have a rejoice?
Already.
another
We
one?
already said it.
I might be like segueing us into a reject right away. My question is, why is it okay for us to let our kids believe in those things, but Halloween is so bad?
Ooh!
That's what I have to think about.
That's a good one.
And it's because we just popped off on Halloween a couple days ago, basically, like 10 days ago. But like, why is it okay to like have your kids believe in reindeer landing on the roof and like putting cookies out for a fake Santa, which I know it's you eating them, whatever, but like, I think it's all fun and games. And I'm not saying don't do those things. I'm just saying maybe keep the energy the same for both holidays. If you're gonna do it for Christmas and put up a tree.
So if we have Santa Claus, we need to have Beetlejuice.
Period. But like, why are you letting your kid put out cookies for Santa but not go trick or treating? Because trick or treating is satanic. Like I don't believe that, and I think it's silly. And I was able to engage in that as a kid and not stray from who God is. I didn't think trick or treating was anything more than just getting some free candy and meeting the neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't really into like scary stuff until I was in high school, but like I didn't really care about the spiritual significance of it until it was like a big thing on social media. So that's my reject, I guess, is like, why are we what?
We'll just keep rolling with it.
Oh, was it the sneeze?
No.
No, we'll just keep rolling.
Okay,
You're
so like why are we not keeping the energy the same for Christmas as we are for Halloween? Like
Yeah.
if you're gonna like be weird about Halloween, then be weird about Christmas too, I guess. Or don't be weird about any of it and just engage in culture, but also recognize the reason for the season. Hallmark quote thing. But yeah, that's what it is.
And that reason
Love
for
it.
the season is not going and buying stuff and worshiping Santa Claus. What?
Jordan, do you have any thoughts? I've got some thoughts, but if you have some thoughts, I'm going to turn it to you first.
Okay. So the double standard thing, I think this is a really hot take. So
Bring
bear
it.
with me.
I'm down.
I think Christmas is ironically more pagan than Halloween.
Period.
Oh,
Send-
please unpack that. Say more.
Halloween is an offer. Okay, so first of all, Halloween finds its origins in All Hallows Eve, which is no, I'm sorry, All Hallows and like All Saints Day. It's the day before All Saints Day, and that's like the whole like.
And there's another day after that one too. There's like a 3-day process.
Yeah.
Bishop Mackey told me about it. I just don't remember.
There was also like Samhain, but that wasn't even on that day, so that doesn't even count.
Yep.
So like Halloween at its genesis point, it like came from like, I mean, there's like a Christian background to it. There's like a faith background to that. And a lot of the stuff that we do for Christmas, it was like adopted from, well, it was pagan practices that we adopted from like winter solstice and this and that. And a lot of those things have now been redeemed by Christians.
Period.
That's a trigger word here at Pop Culture. Redemption.
So like, if we can do that with the pagan and bad stuff with Christmas, I do think that it's silly that we're not trying to do the same things with Halloween.
Yeah.
Like we don't take, okay. There is a concept of like spiritual smack talk in scripture.
Say more.
Like, you know, you can look at
Crush the head.
Well, you can look
the
at
enemy.
well, you can look at like Elijah when he's mocking.
Maybe your God's in the bathroom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. That's what you meant. I thought you were talking about spiritual smack talk of the devil.
No,
I was
no,
like,
no,
I'm
not
down.
the way around.
Louder.
Where it's
he
because-
might be on the
let
can.
me. So the just the concept of we know who's really in control. We know who really has power, and all enemies, all things against, like they can't, like they have no authority. Jesus has full authority. He has purchased us on the cross, and like so many theological things you could like go into deep dives with, but like all that to say, we kind of have an opportunity with Halloween to mock evil and to say you have no power here.
Yeah.
And instead we throw up our
We're
hands
afraid
and
of it.
say, it's so bad and evil and we have an opportunity. We have literally have children coming to our doors, and we have an opportunity to like just be kind to them and loving. And we can say, oh, you have such a cool costume, and oh, here, have some candy, and to just be generous to kids.
Absolutely.
Like Christmas doesn't even do that. Christmas, we are generous to who? Our
people
own
we
kids,
like.
our own, people that you like.
Ooh, there we go.
Yeah. So it's just that duality between Christmas and Halloween and the popular Christian perception is
absolutely
mind-boggling to me.
Yep. I think people that are more critical about Halloween and culture than Christmas and culture.
Say it.
It's the way that our culture celebrates Christmas is anti-gospel.
Woo.
Yeah.
Specifically, Santa Claus is anti-gospel. And you're like, what? Santa brings gifts. Santa brings gifts to good children who do good things, and bad children who do bad things
get coal.
Jesus came into the world as the perfect gift, the best gift to everyone, and we all deserve coal.
God so loved the world that he gave his only son.
And we got Jesus.
Whoever believes in him.
So,
and I'm not saying you can't reframe that and like utilize that, utilize Santa Claus and Saint Nick in an actual like good biblical way. But I am in that boat of if we're going to be critical of one pagan holiday, then we need to be critical of all of them, or we need to be able to engage in popular culture. And magic in this movie is not bad.
Flying
I like
reindeer?
It's a good
crazy.
vibe. I'm going to let my kids
a
watch
vibe.
it. It's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe. All right. My reject for Rudolph specifically now is I don't know quite how to put this. I think in this movie it shows that like nonconformity, difference, being different, whatever, is seen as a curse, as a threat, and viewed with shame until the moment when
Where it's
their
useful.
value is appreciated. And I think obviously the movie comes full circle, so it tries to redeem that a little bit. I think it's a little bit incomplete in that. So a lot of that redemption happens when, again, when they're all of a sudden their difference is useful, right?
Yep.
Santa comes to appreciate Rudolph once he realizes, oh, Rudolph can save Christmas. Oh, your nose is fantastic. Until then it was an abomination. Oh, it's perfect, type of deal. I knew all along. Oh wait, that was his dad. His dad was like, I knew all along he was something special, type of deal. And you're like,
yeah, but especially bad.
Yeah, right. And so I think it's
Santa's
important.
anti-gospel here too.
Yeah, there you go. So I think it's important for us to recognize that as culture, oftentimes I think the same thing happens when we see people's differences and we value those differences when they're useful for us, and we don't really value them as much when they're not useful for us because we don't recognize people's value. And as Christians, we can speak the truth in that everyone has value because everyone is made in the image of God. We talked about Ephesians 2:10 in previous podcasts. We are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which he has prepared in advance for us to do. We recognize that every person has value, not because of what they do, but because of who they are.
Yup.
And who their creator is. If you want to figure out what something's value is, you don't ask the other things that have been created. You go to the creator.
Yeah.
And say, oh, what
does this mean?
Yeah, what's this about? What's the value of this? What's the purpose of this? And in scripture, we see that our creator shows us that every person has tremendous value to him.
God bless us.
And so
everyone.
That's right. In our differences, when we don't see eye to eye, especially, right? We can say we value diversity, but oftentimes we don't because we value the diversity we value.
Right.
But then the diversity that it makes us uncomfortable and we don't value that. And we all have different blind spots with that. We can get through that when we are able to recognize that each person has value, period. Not because of what they do or because of what they can do for you or any of that stuff, because of who they are.
Yeah.
And who's made them. So, and that helps us to move beyond when we have differences, when we have nonconformity, when we have people that make us uncomfortable because of whatever. We can go, no, God loves that person, and I'm gonna respect the value of that person.
Yeah.
So that's my half reject, half redeem. I have a full redeem later, but half and half.
Try to sneak one in there, didn't you?
It started as a reject, and then I started
I
preaching.
snuck one in last time. Now it's your turn.
Just sneak it in. Just get in there. Okay. You got something, Jake?
I have a rather unorthodox perspective that I kind of saw watching it for the umpteenth time.
It's very Catholic.
Oh, yeah. That's the joke I was going to make.
You're silly.
Dude, when I was watching this, my thought towards the end, Santa was burnt.
Oh yeah.
Burnt out to the extreme. He wasn't bread anymore. He was toast.
Bro needed a break.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
and that's
first of
why
all-
Santa's not God, because God doesn't need a break.
well, so first of all, I'm just going to say everything I noticed and then tie this back to, I think church leaders need to be aware.
Mm-hmm.
Because first of all, he'd lost a lot of weight, which happens in stressful times. His wife was apologizing for him a lot. He saw change as abominations, like seeing a Rudolph with a different nose, instead of oh, this is unique, this is different, I want to explore this. It was, no, you need to make sure to hide that, because when you're burnt, you try to fight against change because it's just what happens. Nothing was bringing him joy anymore. Nothing. And like we've already mentioned here, he only saw the redemption of somebody's uniqueness by it being finally useful. Sound familiar?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think and speaking as somebody who has been in leadership in churches, and I'm sure this happens in businesses too, but it's more important to watch out for in churches. This is the sign of a leader that is burnt.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not that's not addressed in this movie because it's not really part of the story. Also, probably because the culture of the time that was just expected. When you're old, you hate life. But there is a way out of that. I don't know if maybe Santa just needed to take a sabbatical, or well, maybe not, because sabbaticals end up sucking most of the time.
Yeah, but like he gets one most of the year anyway.
Because
so
a 364-day sabbatical.
Come on, Santa, get it together. Honestly, at this point, if I could work one day a year,
I just
Yeah, worship pastor. What do you do the other 6 days of the week?
Ooh.
Oh
Ooh.
man, no.
Okay,
This is,
JK.
church leaders, if any of these if this checks any of your boxes, it's time to talk to somebody about it.
It's good.
It's not good.
Yeah.
What we do, what Saint Nick does for all the kids in the world in this movie is for the good of the kids in this world.
Yeah.
He's serving his quote unquote community. The community is everyone.
Yeah.
But what he's doing is good, but it's killing him.
Even if it's not church leaders, like people in service type
Yes.
positions or public service positions, it's really
Yes.
exhausting to like give to other people all the
I'm sure you're
time.
not speaking from experience.
No, I'm not at all. I'm not speaking from experience. And like, even I haven't really been doing it that long in the grand scheme
No.
of things, but shoot, that junk's hard.
Yeah.
So I couldn't imagine like 25 years in and you're just like trying not to get hardened.
So my reject is just that this wasn't mentioned.
Yep.
Poor
If-
Santa.
Yeah. If you were experiencing these
Womp
things,
womp.
please just talk to someone about it. What you're experiencing is not good. The thing that originally brought you into serving people, it will be challenging at times, but it should be fulfilling. It should bring you joy. And if it's not, there's a problem.
Yeah. Santa needs to retire. He looks old. I mean, come on.
Come on.
Come on, Santa.
Also, body
Womp womp,
shaming.
Santa.
There's some body shaming in this movie.
I-
Eat, Papa. Nobody
was
wants
like-
a skinny Santa.
Yeah, that was one thing I did see on social media, and I was like, Rudolph is fat shame. It's a fat shaming or a skinny shaming, and it's so bad. Body toxicity, and I was like, okay, womp womp. But also, I'm rejecting that.
Yeah.
So
That's fair.
let's not talk about anybody's bodies, but also, it's funny. Nobody
Yeah.
does want a skinny Santa. What's wrong with him?
Even though my dad quoted that probably on a weekly basis
Oh, it's
around
funny.
the Christmas time. Eat, Papa, eat. Nobody wants a skinny Santa.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's my
All
reject.
right. Very good.
Period.
We going to move on to redeem? Take a break first? Take a little break?
Womp womp.
Womp womp. Womp womp. All right, we're taking a break. We'll be back.
So now we're moving on to the redeem section, and
Oh.
Connor's going to start us off.
Ooh.
Oh, I thought Jake was going to start.
Just
us.
Kim
kidding.
just took over. This is
Jake-
her
This is
podcast
what
now.
happens. This is a Kim takeover.
Yeah, and I'm not very good at it. So just like let me live, okay? Womp womp.
Womp.
Jake, get us started.
Jake.
Okay. So this originally started off as a reject, but then as I was starting to think through like the Santa burnout, I was like, when we are running or hiding from our calling, whether or not we know what it is, we will find that we don't fit in anywhere.
Mm.
Because it was when like Rudolph and Yukon and the whole and the gang showed up at the island of Misfit toys, and the king, I don't remember his name, was like, "You don't belong here." Originally, I was like, "What?" That's kind of, first of all, my first thought was that sounds like the church, because it's supposed to be like we are the island of misfits, and we're supposed to show the world that we can be broken and be whole at the same time.
Right.
And oftentimes we take somebody new who's broken and like, nope, sorry. But that was my first thought. Then it was like, but they've like, yes, God orchestrates all things, and it ended up being for the benefit of the island of misfit toys, but they didn't belong there.
Yeah.
Rudolph's true calling was to save Christmas, but he ran away from it. And I've experienced this in my own life. I know other people have too. When we run away, we'll find that no place is bringing us healing, and no place feels like home.
Yeah.
There is only one place that we'll find home, and it's in the arms of Jesus, and it's in the body of the church.
Right. Either Rudolph ran away from his calling, or he went on a journey to grow into his calling.
Right.
Either way,
There's only one place that he found home.
Right.
And it was right where he belonged.
He needed to go on a journey because he can't lead people where he hasn't been.
that'll preach. Oh wait,
Thanks for completing my thought.
I think too. They had the quote when they were like, okay, Rudolph decides he's going to go home. Is growing up means Rudolph realized he couldn't run away from his troubles any longer.
Mm.
I was like, nice. That's a good.
Yeah.
You know, we could put that into practice a little bit more.
Yeah.
Growing up means, hey, can't run away from your problems any longer. So,
Student.
growing up means
Can I just pretend it doesn't exist?
you can't run away from your troubles.
I'm gonna
any
garnish my
longer.
checks.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I would like to regime.
Regime.
I like that.
Regime.
Regimes are changing in my mind.
That's
No.
right. Jordan's like, this is a hostile takeover.
No, I would like to redeem the concept of a misfit toy
Yeah.
because a misfit toy can still bring joy.
Nice.
That needs to be a
That's a
lyric.
song lyric.
Please write us a Christmas song.
A misfit.
I've got a fun story about that. I'm never gonna tell. Anyway, you know, I have this. Some would call it what's the phrase? like a bad habit. What's there's a better word.
A
for this.
tendency.
I have a
Impulse.
impulse. Impulse is good. I was trying to think of a funnier way to say I have a bad habit, which it's kind of a bad habit. It's not really entirely a bad habit. I have this habit though of like I hear about something that used to function properly or something that used to function well.
Mm-hmm.
Or that's something that's like, okay, this is basically trash now. And I would take it and
Where he's going.
I would take it and I just like keep it in my house.
Yeah. We know. We helped move most of that.
Yeah, Connor and Jake understood the clutter. What's the hoarding?
Collection.
That's it. I have
Hoarding.
a habit of hoarding things. That's the word I was trying
I was
to
about
say.
to say, Jordan's house is an island of misfit toys.
It's-
As you were
it's
talking, I was like,
my-
I know where he's going.
Yes, my house is an island of misfit toys because I see something and I'm like,
Mhm.
I see not what this thing currently is, but what it could
be.
become.
Yeah.
I see what it could be turned into. I see like I have this coffee subscription called Cometeer. It has these
It's pretty
little-
good.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, we had that.
It's this little frozen coffee shot, and you open it up, and all the stuff is recyclable. But I don't put any of the capsules in recycling.
Of course you don't.
I actually keep every single one of them because do you know how awesome those things are when you're painting and you need like a little cup to put your brush in?
Oh, damn.
Or you need to like squirt some paint in those. You can use it for that. And like you can take two of those things, put some like sand or whatever in, tape them together, and then you have a shaker. And then you got a little shaker based on like just two little shot cups of whatever. And like there's so many different like projects and things and ideas that I have for those. So I like to save those so I can use them for other little random things. And I'll get broken speakers or like broken man, I can't believe my brain is so fried.
English is hard.
English is hard. What is the thing that powers the speakers? Amplifier. Thank you, Jordan. Thanks for coming in clutch for me, bud. Appreciate you, Jordan. Always there for me. There's an amplifier that I have that it has two channels, and one of the channels doesn't work. One of the channels does work. And I have two massive speakers that I was given that the subs are blown. They're old, like really nice Yamahas, like legendary Yamaha speakers that I was just given. But the original owner didn't want them anymore because the subs were blown and he didn't really have a use or need for them anymore. And so I'm like, so I accumulate these things, and the act of taking them and finding new use for them, finding good with them, and like taking even the things that are the most broken thing about them and letting that become no, that's actually what's good about this now. I'm going to take the worst part of this and I'm going to make it the best part of this. Like exactly what Jesus does with us.
So there's this kid's book, and I think it's called Your Special, or I don't remember. But they're little like people, like little clay. I don't know if they're clay dolls or they're just kind of dolls. And when someone doesn't like them or they think that they're weird or something, they get stickers on them. And like the more stickers you have, like the worse doll you are. Like the dirtier you are, the less people want to hang out with you. And this doll got stickers all over her, and she's really sad about her self-esteem. And then she gets, meets this other doll who becomes her friend, and she tells her, I know somebody who can take all the stickers away. So she meets this person, and it's the creator of the dolls, like the doll creator. And he puts this coating on her, and all the stickers no longer stick to her anymore. And that just reminded me of like the creator took God, that's supposed to be obviously God, and take us and take away all of the stuff that the world is putting on it. Oh my gosh, the world put on us, that we're like broken, that we don't work right, that we're too squirrel brained. I hear that one every day. It's fine. Just that like we have issues and that we're broken, like broken toys. And then he takes them and then he makes us whole again. And all of those labels no longer matter and they don't stick to us anymore. And that is my point.
I don't see any correlation to the gospel at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
So if I can take that, so like another way that doll situation can be the way that you know, another way that can be redeemed. And I think another thing that God does is sometimes he takes all the stickers off, right? But I think other times he says, no, these stickers are actually going to be like, we're going to make all, like, now you are extremely colorful. These other dolls, they don't have this, but like now you are like the most colorful doll ever. You have a green sticker here, you got a blue sticker here, and now you're a masterpiece of color.
Yep.
And it's taking something that was, you know, meant for evil, right? And it being turned into something for good.
Yeah.
It's taking Peter's denials and turning him into a church leader who never denied him again.
There we go.
Yeah.
Period.
And sometimes Misfit toys ain't broke. You just think they are because they don't fit into your expectations. And God says, no, I made that toy that way for a reason.
Yeah.
And
well, and that's what ended up happening.
So it's like all three of those things,
toys.
Right?
They found the places where they belonged.
Yep.
It's just, it wasn't what they thought it would be.
So all of those things are true. My redeem is very similar. I'll just piggyback on the lion, flying lion thing.
I don't know.
It was like Aslan.
Aslan with wings.
Who brought all these toys that were no longer being played with back to the island of Misfit toys to hopefully one day find new ways for these toys to be played with. Says to Rudolph and the other people whose names escape me.
Yukon and Hermie.
Which one's Hermie? Is it the
elf? I want to be a dentist.
Yep. He says, being misfits yourselves, you can help find these misfits a home.
That's so sweet.
And I was like, that'll preach. Similar to what we've already been talking about. But we look at those things either that were different or were broken in a unique way, or God, you know, uses that thing to redeem and uses that, whatever that thing is, to, now you can relate to and witness to and lead others through whatever they're going through.
Yep.
And that's oftentimes like where God is calling us.
Saved people. Save people.
Right. Or help people. Point people to get saved by Jesus.
But that's not tweetable.
Jesus isn't tweetable.
Oof.
No, he is.
But the phrase Jesus isn't tweetable is tweetable.
Oh. There you go.
Full circle.
There you go. So I think oftentimes, and we see this, scripture talks about rejoicing in suffering, right? That's in there. And I think often, and we can
rejoice in our sufferings because, well, one, it talks about like perseverance, character, hope. All those things are true. And in our sufferings, oftentimes that's those places where God is calling us to go into the world and say, hey, I have liberated you from this. I have met you in this. I have brought you through this thing. Now be my hands and feet and go help others get through this and draw them to me.
That kind of sounds like the Great Commission, to go into the nations, baptizing people in the names of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, teaching them to obey everything I commanded you.
And behold,
boom,
I'm with you always. And that is good news.
Amen.
A lot of that stuff you'd be like, I can't do this unless Jesus is with me. Jesus is like, behold, I'm with you always. Also, side note, what's the elf's name again?
Hermie.
Live action version, it's going to be Ryan Gosling. I'm just telling you. That's all.
Honestly,
yeah. It's what's going to happen. So just know that the live action Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer coming to you soon, undoubtedly, will be.
They better not
Ryan
touch
Gosling
this movie.
will be the elf needing to be.
You have a personal
dentist.
stake in this.
They better not touch this movie.
Do not make it.
And
I ain't redeeming that one.
And Ryan Reynolds will be voicing Rudolph.
I was gonna say Ryan Reynolds should be Rudolph.
OMG.
They ain't touching this movie.
Oh, they'll touch it.
I ain't redeeming it.
They'll touch it.
If they do 4 Kung Fu Pandas, they will touch this movie.
I ain't praying for that.
I ain't praying for that, dude.
I'm praying against that, actually.
I want Santa to be played by The Rock.
You're welcome.
Nobody wants a skinny Santa.
All right. Well, I think this is a good spot to end. Thanks for partaking in this today. I enjoyed going through Rudolph. It was only in like less than an hour.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot that. I was like kind of buckled down for a 90-minute
Back
thing.
whenever movies
like
had to
55
stick
minutes.
to a time limit.
Dang.
Like 3
okay.
hour movies are killing me.
What's crazy is earlier you commented on how much space this movie gives, and the pace is really nice.
It's set,
and it's still less than an hour.
It's said a lot by not saying much.
There we go.
Right. Less is more sometimes.
Charmin Ultra.
On that note,
we're going to talk less and get out of here. So we'll see you next time. Remember, till then, God is at work in pop culture.
Pop, pop.
Red-Nosed Reindeer.
All right. Well, thanks for listening to the pod today. Again, just a reminder, tickets for our live show, reservations for our live show, seats for our live show on January 17th, Friday night in McPherson are available on our Patreon. Please go on there, reserve your seats today. We're really looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then 2, again, we launched our TikTok a few weeks ago. So if you're on TikTok, it would help us out a bunch. If you could follow us, if you like our stuff there, help launch that TikTok for us, just as we try to get a little bit of a presence on that platform. So again, thanks for listening today. We'll see you next time.